And so it would finish 3-1 to Real Madrid. It's obviously been a better week for them after what happened against Atleti. They had that big win in the Champions League midweek, and now this win at home against Villarreal. As it stands right now, they are on top of the table, ahead of Barcelona's game away to Sevilla tomorrow. So Real Madrid back on top, at least for this evening, as we welcome in Luis Garcia to talk more about what we saw in this game. Let's get started with Vinny Jr. if we can, Luis, because he got man of the match today and he turned it on today.
Yeah, and he deserved that man of the match because he was always a threat in the first 45, and not many times that he got on the ball, but every single time was difficult to stop him. And in the second half, they have to give thanks to Marcelino, who kept Moreno into the field with a yellow card. Also to his teammates, they were behind him and they never helped in the first goal. And of course, Vinny Jr. knew about it and started facing players on 1v1 situation until Moreno sent off, until he received another yellow card, and until he received a penalty. So I think that he understood very well his work today, his job, and he did it fantastically, because every single time was beating players, was getting involved into the box, was trying to attract players. He get that first goal, but also he managed to get a penalty and score another penalty. So a very good game from Vinny Jr. It was needed. I think that in this beginning of this start of the season, we've been a lot of concerns about his ways of playing, his mentality. It looks like he was a little bit down, but today he showed his amazing talent, speed, and ability to beat players. So he will deserve today the man of the match, and that's what we want to see Vinny Jr. Not engaging with players, not engaging with the crowd, not engaging with the referee, but yes, showing us the fantastic player he is.
Took the penalty too, Ale. Were you surprised to see him take it?
I was surprised in the sense that Kylian Mbappé has been taking them and has done so perfectly well so far this season. However, I think even Kylian Mbappé recognized that Vini was having one of those days, and he had drawn the penalty, and in fact there was a shot from the TV cameras that spotted essentially Mbappé giving the ball to Vini. Here you go, buddy, you go and have a go. I must say, it wasn't the most convincing penalty take from anybody. Arnau Tenas was there in plenty of time, but is unable to make the save. Regardless, is yet another goal for Vinny Jr. But what I think is really important is what we were talking about at halftime, is diagnosing where the issues were for Villarreal defensively, and it was in wide areas. Mastantuono on one side had already gotten a yellow card from Cardona. The same thing had happened, particularly and especially with Santiago Moreno, and that Vini was killing him in the first half. And somehow Real Madrid went away from that late in the first half. Obviously, not because I said so, not because we mentioned it at halftime, but obviously somebody in that squad of what seemingly is 10 assistant coaches that Xabi Alonso has, somebody must have said, hey, how about we give the ball to Vini? How about we make an effort to give the ball to the guy who's hot, who's active, against a defender that cannot stay with him? And the first two sequences of attack from Real Madrid in the second half were changes of the point of attack to Vinny Jr., isolation play, go on, Vinny, have a go at this guy. And Santiago Moreno simply cannot defend against Vinny Jr. I must say, Santiago Moreno simply cannot defend, period. But certainly not against Vinny Jr. And Real Madrid took advantage of that. Having said all that, Real Madrid still gives up a goal and sort of allow Villarreal back into the match up until Santiago Moreno says, nah, I've had enough of this. I don't want any part of this game. Let me make yet another stupid foul, another dumb foul, second yellow, he gone, and from then on the game was over.
As for Xabi Alonso, looking at Vinny and the performance he got from him today, he's got to be pleased with what he saw.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a player with the amount of talent and pace that he has, if you can get him, number one, onside, and number two, working well with Mbappé, there's not a defence on the planet that wants anything to do with you. So for Xabi Alonso, it's fantastic. And for Xabi Alonso, he's actually got Rodrigo coming off the bench and looking just as desperate to do as well as the guy who's just come off. I mean, so for Alonso, this is fantastic. This is, for any coach, this is the place to be in.
And Mbappé scoring, standard procedure now, right, Luis?
Yeah, we mentioned that he's sharp, he's hot, he's feeling the moment, and he's right in the right place when he matters. And today maybe he could have scored another couple of goals, but you could see that he was trying to find his spaces. In the first 45, maybe he was lying a little bit too much on the left side. We've seen that when he's dangerous, when he's near the box, focusing on being near the goal, where he, with just one dribbling, with one pace or wall pass, is near the box, and he's so dangerous because he's so clinical. He's got that ability to score with right and left. And today, once again, he was right there. When he was needed, he was right there. And of course, and right now he keeps going on as a top scorer of LaLiga. And if Real Madrid understand this situation, the ball when he's near him, you have to give him, because he's so unpredictable. He's so difficult to read, and that's why he's so dangerous.
One more point about Xabi Alonso and the productivity that he's getting from certain players. He makes a decision not to start Jude Bellingham today, whatever those reasons may have been. But there's a certain motivation to Jude Bellingham after what was a demolition, a destruction, a beatdown by Atletico Madrid last weekend. And part of the criticism was, well, why'd you start this guy? He wasn't ready to play. So he didn't start today, comes off the bench, and you see Jude Bellingham running around, sliding challenges, winning 50-50 balls, getting on the end of crosses in the 18-yard box. Probably should have and could have scored a couple of goals in this match. But the third goal comes from a sliding challenge by Jude Bellingham, who allows himself or allows the team to regain possession of the ball in an advanced position. From then they go to score. And it'll go sort of like underreported because we focus on Vini, because we focus on Kylian Mbappé, and rightfully so. But if Jude Bellingham is able to do that for this team, is one more body that physically and athletically can compete and can actually press the ball higher up the field. That adds value to what he does for Xabi Alonso, and it adds value to Real Madrid.
Go on.
Can I just throw in? There's one thing I didn't like about this.
All right, here we go.
If I'm Alonso, I am absolutely going up to Mbappé and asking him why he gave the ball to Vinny. If you're 5-6-0 up with 5 minutes to go, then you can give it to whoever you like. I really don't care. But it's the second goal. It's important. It's not, you can't afford to miss it, because all you're doing is encouraging the opposition, and they got away with it. They were lucky because it was a bad penalty, and the goalkeeper probably should have saved it, in my opinion.
So is it a big deal then?
It's a huge deal. What happens if Vinny misses this? All of a sudden, Villarreal either bunker in well or go up the other end and score. You know, the fact that they go ahead changes the game. Villarreal have to open up, then it means they get more room to play, and then they end up getting the third goal. But if he doesn't take the penalty, then it's different. Yeah, this kills the game. It kills the game at 2-0, right? If the goalkeeper saves this poor penalty, then it completely changes everything. So if I'm Alonso, I'm going up to Mbappé, not just Mbappé, but basically making it clear to everybody in that dressing room, this is my penalty taker, and I decide who the penalty taker is, and then when he's on the field, he's taking them. And it's not, I'll look after my charm, and he's doing well, and Vinny's playing really well, so let's give it to Vinny. No. This is professional football. It's not look after your mate.
It's a nice gesture, but it's not the time for the nice gesture.
Right.
So I can see why Mbappé did it, but to Stevie's point, I was sitting back thinking, well, but we're making decisions as if the game is over already.
Yeah.
And the game wasn't over. But regardless,
got away with it.
It played no part in the final result of the game, and Vinny's feeling a whole lot better about himself, so there you go, everybody's a winner.
Do you feel as strongly as that situation as Stevie does, Luis?
Yeah, sometimes, because I understand that Stevie, probably when he was a football player, Stevie would have felt like, well, that's a nice gesture, they got a nice connection, or they want to make important. But I understand that Stevie now sees football as a coach, as being a coach, and as understanding that that penalty miss, it put in trouble our team, and that would cost us maybe a point, 2 points, or even 3 points. So I totally understand what he means. Probably Xabi Alonso will make a word with Mbappé, and we'll talk to him and say, listen, next time just be be careful, just try to you, because you are the main player, you are the player who I want to take the penalties, because I have more confidence in you. If you are winning 3-0, maybe they will have that conversation, but of course it's very difficult once the players into the pitch take a decision to pass the ball to whatever. We all have that kind of moment of a player who wants the ball because he feels so much confidence and wants to take the penalty, and sometimes it's difficult to make him understand, no, what we have to do is this is the penalty taker for a reason, we have to follow that. So sometimes it's the decisions that players take on the field, difficult for the managers to control it.
It's also a tricky situation for Xabi Alonso, because you get Vini feeling good about himself, but then you're going around his back to go to Kylian Mbappé and say, hey, we don't want to be doing this. We want you to take the penalties because the game is not over just yet. And it's on.
Could you address them both together?
Well, you can, and I think because you have won the game and because he scored the penalty, I think you let it be. You just make it clear to Mbappé, maybe in even a playful manner. You didn't win the penalty or what? You didn't want to score a goal or what? Something to that effect, where it doesn't make it as if you are taking any sort of confidence away from Vini because he just had a good game. You don't want to mess with that confidence, but you also want to make it clear to Kylian, hey, I thought you were the penalty taker. That's it.
Yeah, and to think the biggest story going into it was Fede Valverde playing at right back. Looks as though we put a bow on that one now.
Well,
That's all
it was
done.
big by you and the rest of you.
I was just reporting what the reports were saying and just putting it out there.
Okay.
Into
Alex making a whole big deal out of it.
Yes, Alex Kirkland will blame you. Luis Garcia, thank you so much for being with us. We'll hear from you again tomorrow. Sevilla taking on Barcelona tomorrow. Be sure to be with us for that. Celta against Atleti also later in the day. Both games available on ESPN+.